After doing HIV testing and counseling, I knew every word to tell every guy to ingiza them box that, in as much as I'm HIV positive, let's just go past it. I cannot infect you. I'm taking my drugs so well. My viral load is going to be so much suppressed. I cannot do anything to harm you. My name is Feni Awiti, and I am 26 years old, and a mother of two daughters, Ahadi, Emanuela Faraja, who is 3.5 years old, and Hadi Mor, who is 2.5 years old. The most interesting part about my life and my story is that I'm HIV positive. This is what happened actually. I was at Asumbi Girls High School, and in Form 2, a blood drive donation came to our school. They were testing for HIV, and I was not sexually active. I had not tested for HIV before. I was going there as someone who wants the normal blood in a bread and soda, just like in second term. The counselor asked me two things, like, do you have a boyfriend? And I said, no, I don't have a boyfriend. Have you ever been tested before for HIV? I said, no, it's my first time. Okay, and then she said, okay, so then what you're going to do is we're going to test you, and then after that, double line means you're HIV positive, single line means you're HIV negative. I'm like, okay, let's go. At the back of my mind, I'm like, I just be done with it. I need the soda and bread. So I'm done with that. She's done with the testing. Barely after 5 minutes, she's like, okay, you mentioned you do not have a boyfriend, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't have a boyfriend. Okay, this is your results. Then she took the kit, forwarded it to me in front of me, and it read double line. I was HIV positive. Of course, it hit me. Death finally reached at my doorstep. So yeah, I was given this soda and bread, and then I signed up. I signed off the paper, and then I walked in, and then just outside the counseling room was the parade ground. I just took the soda and bread, and I do not know how it fell off my hands. It hit me that I was truly HIV positive. At that time, when I was inside the counseling room, it had not hit me. Well, I just knew, and then you're like, okay, maybe they always do another test, something like that, and then now I started referring to my story as there are always mistakes. There's a chick who was also tested, and then she was positive the first time, then the second time she was negative. She remained negative, and I'm like, okay, I am truly negative because I've never had sex with anyone else. Any perception of HIV positive person is that it's transmitted through sex. I've never had that.
When you noticed you were HIV positive and you knew you were not sexually active, did it automatically hit you? I could have gotten this from my parents.
It actually hit me because my birthday is in January, and I remember my dad passed on in Feb. So I just turned 5 years old, and my dad had to be transferred from Nakuru. He had to relocate from Nakuru to Ushago. So now I would see dad cough a lot and then spit on a container and all. And I remember in my childhood memories, we would sit over there and try to get some sun and all. But then mom was not that sickly, not that much. But then those days when someone like dad was that sickly, you'd automatically know they are positive. Yeah, that time he was coughing, he was everything, he had all that. Yeah. So from that time, it clicked on me. But then, of course, it's a miracle. I mean, how do I get that? And then it's been 16 years. I've never died, So yeah, I'm positive. And then I'm like, okay, I do not know if I should be in denial or go talk to someone about this thing. And I told myself I need to talk to someone. So I went to my friend. I said, okay, the only person that I can talk to at this time is my friend. I went to her, and then I talked to her about the HIV status. And she was like, no, Fanny, get out of here, because I'm so funny. Like, literally, I joke about everything. So she's like, no, please, you can joke about anything, but not your HIV status. I'm like, it's true. This is the paper. They always we were given some papers, like positive, it read positive, negative. So I showed it to her, and then it's like positive, and then they write a number. Now, if I'm number 245 out of the people that have been tested, yeah. So, and she had gone for the test. She's like, wow, it's really true. You're HIV positive. I'm like, yeah, I'm positive now. I do not know what to do. And she's like, you know what, don't worry, I have so many people who are positive, I mean, we will get through it. I'm your friend, we'll get through it. So I was so happy. After some days, I think 4 days, I go to the dining hall to serve food, and then I notice that, you always know at that atmosphere when people are like, gossiping around and about me and stuff like that. So I walk right inside the DH, and I'm seeing a group of girls, and they're all collected, and they're all, it looks like it's a very lucrative conversation. And then I overhear someone say, that's why she's so fat. I was so hippies in high school, by the way. That's why she's so fat. She takes those drugs. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, someone should not tell me that this story was leaked. My best friend could have not done that. That was it. Someone who knows me knows very well that I could not miss Gideri in high school. I could not miss Gideri in high school. That day I did not serve Gideri. I went back with my plate inside the dormitory, and I confronted my friend. I asked her, like, what's happening? What's up? My story is leaked. Did you in any way talk to someone? Her reply was, please give me my blanket, my sheets, the basin. I need every stuff of mine that you have, because you'll equally infect me. Of course, I went back to class, and then life was not the same again. It changed everything. I had to deal with so much. I had to go through discrimination from some of the teachers. So I withdrew completely. I did not study any single thing from Form 2 third term way forward. Up to the time I sat for my exams, I don't know how I got that C-. I do not know how I got it. So way forward, I had to deal with myself, being positive. One thing about HIV is that it's there. It's permanent. It's with you. It's forever. At least in the meantime. So I had to deal with that fact. So I said to myself, any guy who would hit on me, I would tell them the right thing. I'm HIV positive. I would not lie to any person.
How was the reaction?
Of course, it was the way you've reacted. One, like that.
Yes.
Two, they're like, no, you're lying to us. You're just playing hard to get. And what I would do, I of course I failed in high school, so I went and did HIV testing and counseling at Liverpool, VCT counseling. After doing HIV testing and counseling, I knew every word to tell every guy to ingiza them box that, in as much as I'm HIV positive, let's just go past it. I cannot infect you. I'm taking my drugs so well. My viral load is going to be so much suppressed. I cannot do anything to harm you. I had to explain in dissertation form what HIV is to this guy, and he would not let me. He told me, I don't care. I don't care if you're HIV. I really don't give a shit if you're HIV positive in whatever way. And if I get it, we will take drugs with you. I'm like, wow, okay, then this is the Prince Charming. So so we can go with it. But then getting Faraja, it was so hard. The first one, it was really hard in terms of how we are going to really raise this child, how he's not really going to be HIV negative. But then we had the best facility. The facility told me, if you take your drugs very well, Fanny, you're going to suppress the virus. If you suppress the virus, it's going to reach a point where it's undetectable. If the viral load is undetectable, chances of infecting your baby or your partner are very, very minimal. Very. So I said, why not? I mean, well, I can use myself as a guinea pig, then my child will be born. I'll also use them as a guinea pig, but then it's a risk I'm taking. I had conceived Faraja. Of course, all that were going through me. You can Google all you want, you can do what, but then it still remains theoretical until it happens to you, Finally, I gave birth to Faraja, and I'm like, wow, this is happening. Now I really need to raise this baby HIV negative, After 1 hour, they said after 1 hour you give the baby something called nevirapine. Those days, it's a type of ARV. But then these days, they give them nevirapine and lamivudine. But then those days, immediately the baby is born after 1 hour. That time that they advise for you to breastfeed the baby, you give them nevirapine. And then up to 6 weeks. Once a day, up to 6 weeks. And then way forward, you give the baby Septrin. up to 18 months. But in the meantime, in between these instances, 6 weeks, the baby goes to the clinic for testing. But at that time, they really don't do instant testing like me and you. They do something called dry blood. It's even worse, because dry blood does not come instantly. It takes like a month. So you keep on calling a doc. What are the results? Is the baby okay? Is the baby okay? And all that, yeah. So it was really stressful. We had to go through so much. But then it's 6 weeks, and then after that 3 months, and then after that 9 months, and then after that 1 year, after that 18 months, the baby turned negative all through. Now in the meantime, we got used to the routine of the baby turning negative twice, 6 weeks and 3 months, that we conceived a Hadi very fast. We were like, oh, okay, now we are pros. We can actually raise these kids. Like, you've never been positive so far. We've never used we've never had protected sex with this guy. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I mean, we've never had protected sex with you. The baby is okay so far. It's like almost 1.5 years down the line, me and you. We can have another child. And it was unexpected, actually. We were just saying, and pops a Hadi. So I conceive a Hadi. I go through the same process, and also sad enough, at around 8 months we started having issues with this guy, and he started being so unfaithful and all. So normally I said, if he's going to be unfaithful, then I'm going to let it go, because HIV can be reinfected. I was trying to avoid the reinfection. He can go and have unprotected sex with someone who is HIV positive. That someone is not taking drugs like the way I'm taking, until the viral load is suppressed. And then I would get that he would get infected, and then he would infect me with another strand, because we have HIV1, HIV2. In between those HIV1 and HIV2, we have so many strands. I was trying to avoid that, so we had to let it go. And of course, so many other things, normal marital issues. So we had to call it quits, me and him. Yeah. I was tense with the Hadi, because it was 9 months old. This guy says that he does not think the baby is his because of all that has been happening. So I'm going through all this, and Faraja is barely a year. I had to go through all that, and finally I give birth to a Hadi. And now I do not have any support system of like a guy, So I said, why not like empower people, come out confident. I've gone through a discordant relationship. I've gone through so much psychologically, emotionally. I've been in marriage for 3 years. I'm this young. I mean, I can empower so many adolescents, so many youths out there. And then people have so many misconceptions about HIV. People believe that you cannot give birth to a HIV negative baby. I had to, I'm using my experience to like literally educate people. This is how you can give birth to a HIV negative baby. People believe that when you're HIV positive, you cannot breastfeed. I'm trying to tell them that when you take your drugs very well, we call it undetectable equals to untransmissible, UU. With the UU campaign, it's so easy. It tells it all. When your viral load is undetectable, then you cannot transmit the virus to the baby. When your viral load is detectable, then you can transmit the virus to the baby. So that's why there are mothers who are not advised to breastfeed and they are HIV positive, meaning their viral load is very high. It means that it's still detectable. And breastfeeding the baby means giving the baby helping the baby contract the virus. Yeah. Initially, people would say mtu mwenye is so thin is HIV positive, Then now these days they lack misconceptions. The bucket list of their misconception now, if you're taking the ARVs, you are fat. So it doesn't really make sense. And then if you're taking the ARVs, or if you have HIV, your lips are red. I think I have the most full-lipped, black, beautiful African lips ever. Yeah. Amen. Yeah.